Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hoosier Garage. It's early enough to where I'm sitting outside because the family's still inside sleeping. But we've got a special episode today. We're gonna go pick up another future project. So we hope you'll stay along with us and see what's going on. And some of you might recognize it. There he is. He just showed up. We'll pick it up in the truck.
You're watching the most unique automotive channel on YouTube, the Hoosier Garage.
Alright, so we're in the truck, Levi's truck. This is my nephew Levi. He's helping out today because he bought this trailer a while back. It's got a winch, and so he's your best friend right now, right? We are beyond halfway down from home to the Nashville area. We're going to pick up this car. So when we get there, we'll show you what we're going to load up on the trailer. Made it. Nice little trip.
You said video, I was like, hell yeah. How are you? Good to see you. Good. Cool.
Alright, so we made it to the location. Here's the car at the 71 Satellite Sebring Plus. And Dylan here, he has been kind enough to hold this car for us. And he also helped us with some title issues that I was pretty scared to death about. But he took care of that.
No problem.
Yeah. So Dylan, you've got a lot of cars here. You've got a lot going on. Just tell us what do you like to do? What's the situation with what you do with cars?
Well, we're trying to start, I'm going to get a channel going, and I've already got a YouTube channel called Russ Savers Garage. Of course, we haven't posted too many videos. We did a Trace Atkins shootout here called Heartbreak Song a while back last year, and it was actually filmed here on location. But basically, we're going to do budget builds and you know, old cars and trucks, pull them out of the woods, out of the barns and stuff, and bring them back to life. And you know, take them as far as you want to go, or as little as you want to go, as far as some rat rod stuff and everything. But you know, doing stuff on a limited budget and putting stuff back out on the road, just because stuff is old and cool that you don't see anymore.
Yes, you know, always good to have it back on the road. So Russ Savers Garage, right?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna put a link. We're gonna put a link right up here at the top of the screen, and then we're gonna get this loaded up. And there's a 383 that goes with it, 727.
Yep.
And one like a Ford rear end or something.
Yeah, Ford 9-inch rear was just extra or whatever.
Yeah.
But hey, in the drag racing world, that's worth its weight in gold right there.
Yeah. So yeah, here it is, and you can watch us get it up. So. Let's roll.
You don't have any idea how many people called me and messaged me about this car sitting here. You know.
We'll hook both hooks up there and we'll just go from the middle point.
Yes,
Looking good?
She's already starting to go. There we go, it's straightened out.
Try that.
Might need the angler to come in a little catty corner.
A little bit. I think you want to try to, I think we can smooth it over. Look at that. Do that. Hope we caught that on camera, that's funny.
She's scraping on the back.
Dragging a little bit on the rock.
A little bit, yeah. You want to try lifting up on the fender, lift up on that side, lift up on this side?
All right, go ahead.
We're out of winch. wrap around a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
We're off a little bit.
Turn her loose. Did it.
Very little slack to it.
That's right. That's what you want.
You start pushing on it.
Yeah, it
Perfect right there.
is. So, there's this 3-3 engine block, 2 rear ends, and a transmission. I believe that transmission is yours, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. I've got a stack of them sitting around here. I just want to make sure it was the right one.
Yeah, then we put all the other parts
Yep.
for it in the trunk. Yeah, grab me some of those. They're in the console. Well, here we are. We're going up I-65 through Kentucky. There's the satellite zipping up the road. Levi, the open road. So this car has 383. It's all in the truck. The trunk. What do I call it? The trunk bed. It's in the bed of the truck. I'm taking the trunk. The parts for it, like the heads, the manifolds, intake, that's all in the trunk of the car. And then we got a transmission and we got an 8 3/4 rear end. That's all in the bed. So we'll show you that in a little bit. After we get done kind of unloading this, we'll let you see some of Dylan's cars and trucks that he has in his building there. And it's gonna be dark. You won't see. He doesn't have the lights all up yet, but he has a lot of cars stored in there, and I think you'll like to see some of the stuff that he has. So make sure you stick around for that after we get it unloaded. So. All right, so we're here at the gas station. I'm getting him some gas, helping him out here. But we got our big block 727. Here's our 383 block, and all the parts are in the trunk. And then our B body 71 through 4, 8 3/4. So we pretty much have a full car here. And while this fills up, we'll take a quick look. We're almost to the house. We're actually in my town now. Kind of see it here. Nice little radio there. But got our bucket seats. Little speakers in the back. All the good stuff, right? I can't remember what trim's in this box. There was some trim bought for the car, and I'm actually anxious to see what it was exactly. So I think it may have been wheel well trim, but we'll find out shortly. Okay, so we have the car unloaded here at the Hoosier garage, and one thing we did a month or so ago when I went to purchase the car is all the parts were on a pallet, and so we put all the loose parts aside from the block in the trunk. So I'm just unloading the trunk so I can lighten up the car. I'm going to move it over there for now. So I've got, you might be able to see it over the block, manifolds, pulley, balancer, rocker arms, and just, you know, random stuff. I've got the heads in here, the crank, 2-barrel intake, a carburetor, the pistons, the rods, got motor mounts, oil pan, distributor drive, oil pump, all the good stuff. Inspection cover, another torque converter aside from the one that's in the transmission, some brake drums, fuel pump. Yeah, so we'll go over that in a minute. I'm going to lay it out neatly on the floor so we can take a look at what we got, and yeah, I'm going to take a break. I'm exhausted. I traveled to Indianapolis the other day in the van, and got back yesterday. This morning went down to get our brand new satellite to just got back after several hours on the road. So, okay guys, so I've just emptied out the entire trunk of the Satellite. I have it laying out in a semi-orderly fashion here on the garage floor, and to be truthful with you, this is my first big block, particularly first big block in pieces. So if anything stands out to you, or you think there's something I should look for as far as a number or a style of, you know, whatever the part may be, just let me know down in the comments. I'm ready to learn on some of this. I understand the basics of the Mopar big block, but when it gets down to the details, no, I'm not that familiar with it. So, love to hear input on that. But I got it laid out, and let me show you what we got. I'm also going to show you what else has come with the car. And before we get started with this part of it, I'm just going to acknowledge that this car, I was aware of it about a year ago. Okay, if you know who Ryan Barsness is, he's here on YouTube. It's a great channel. Does some of the best live chats that are out there. They're very interactive. And Ryan and his family are involved in dealing with Mopars, whether it be the cars. They have quite a few really good cars to deal with, and then a lot of parts. So Ryan actually had this car about a year ago, and somewhere within the past year, Jim Bennett from Jim Bennett's Hot Rod Garage down in the Nashville area of Tennessee, he bought the car, and it was his intention to take the car back to purple, the white interior, and rebuild this 383, and I believe go with like a larger Magnum wheel, and like Magnum 500 wheel, and also, what was it? I think he was wanting to do a white vinyl halo roof on it with a 3/4 canopy roof, and he had some 4-speed pedals in the car. So with that said, that's how this worked out. Ryan was contacted after Jim tragically passed away, about at this point, I guess 2.5 months ago. And so, you know, condolences to Jim's family. But they was working hard to kind of move things around, because they had customer cars, and they made sure the customers got their cars back. And then cars like this, it was actually Jim's personal car. So I'm kind of honored in a way that another fellow YouTuber, a good YouTuber, good guy, had this car and had the intent to really take care of it. And it came from another good guy in Ryan. So it's a great community here on YouTube, and I really encourage people to get involved if you just, you know, need a group of friends to Mopar with, or just cars in general, or just, you know, have good friends. So I have no trouble with that at all, recommending people like that. And so we'll get into this, and I'll show you what we got. And there's actually some new parts, like I said, that Jim bought for it, and it's just really to our benefit that we have them here. So let's get started. We've got our 383 here, just the block. The main caps are all in except for one. I don't know what's going on there, if it's maybe floating around here. We'll get to the box here in a second, but we've got all our rods. We've got some flat top pistons. We've got the usual rotating, external rotating assembly. We've got the distributor, probably a points distributor. I believe this is a, Ryan told me what this was. I'm thinking it's like a 68 or so. You can see that. 67. Looks like January 18th of 67, so it'd be a 67 383 block. So a little bit early. I think it's a non-HP motor. We've got both heads for it, valve covers. We've got a power steering pump, starter, exhaust manifold. I'm not positive whether they would fit this car or not. Maybe y'all know. Does it look familiar? It looks like we've got a 2532464 number on this one, and that one's a little harder to make out. It looks like it's a 246310 possibly. And beyond that, we've got a fuel pump, water pump, alternator. We've got a couple random bolts in here. It says 383. We'll have to go through that. This one here looks like it has it's kind of hard to tell what those are exactly. Oh, like torque converter and crank bolts. That's what those are. And we've got our crank. I'm guessing a cast crank, and 2-barrel intake with a little carburetor. We'll probably go to a 4-barrel dipstick tubes, a little beat up, and the pickup, distributor drive, oil pump, and the pan. Over here, this was some random stuff. Not sure what was going on. It says exhaust manifold on the box, but it looks like disc brake conversion parts. So that was just happened to be with it. So anything that looks identifiable there, you can let me know. It also came with this and that, which I'm thinking might be a Ford assembly. It doesn't, something about it does not look Mopar. But over here, we've got a box with a lot of fittings and bolts, and it looks like another type of balancer here. I'm not sure what that goes to. Actually, it's got Ford on it. So that doesn't belong here. So if somebody needs that, you let me know. It's for Ford. There's the logo. 112872 is the number on it. It's on that part at least. I thought it didn't look very Mopar. As far as everything else, let's see what we got. A lot of it's come out of the bags. Distributor and hold down. Or distributor hold down, that's what it, yeah, so that's the big block, that's Mopar, that's good. We've got some valves here. I'm thinking they're extra valves. Some looms. And a lot of the bolts for the valve train and oil slinger. Not sure what that is. Oh, there's some springs. So we have kind of an array of stuff here. Maybe a piece of fuel line, I guess. There's an alternator, yeah, alternator bracket there. This says coil. Oh, it's push rods. And there's probably some more. Unfortunately, that looks like a bracket for the firewall or something. I don't see it right here, but I'm not seeing a cap, a loose cap for the block. That's a little unfortunate, but maybe, I know it's preferable that when you get a block that you have everything in there, but maybe we can figure something out on that. So yeah, this needs to be laying aside. I actually have another Ford piece here that was in the car. We have this, I wrote Ford on it, it's Fomoco. Anybody know what that is? Looks like a marker light or something. It is a light, so I'll put those there. But if we move on from that, look what we got here. We have a full set of wheel well trim for the 71-72 Plymouth B-body, two-door, brand new. And it looks like that was a roughly $350 situation there after taxes. So that's a nice little item to have. I think some of it's a little dinged up on there. It'd be nice to put that back. And then we also got this. I was actually thinking before I got the car that it would be cool to get these to put on there when it's all said and done. And he happened to have the envelope in here with the decals in it. So that's really cool. Another thing, and I laid these out just, I guess that's where it all came from. But they had these manuals in here. We've got a brand new chassis assembly, Dodge and Plymouth B-body. And then we've got a much thicker electrical and body assembly manual. So I think these will come in very useful, very handy little items there. And that's what we got. So now we can move on to the car, and I've taken a few things out of it just to clear it out, like the box. I had these boxes in there. And we'll take a quick look at what we got inside. So we come up to the car, we can see our white interior with the door panels that were the same door panel as the GTX had on these Sebring Pluses. We've got really nice white bucket seats that obviously will need some work, but we got the buddy seat here in the middle instead of a console. I kind of like that. I might figure on just staying with that. And we've got a decent looking steering wheel here, and it's got some cracks, but either we can get another wheel or change it out or whatever. But cool thing about these Sebring Pluses is that they have the rally cluster in them, and this one has 150 mile/hour cluster, and no tack there, but it's got the oil pressure and stuff like that in it. Uncut radio bezel, love that. Headliners toast. And the back seat, if you're familiar with Ryan's video on this car, he did a couple videos on it, but somebody cut out the V brace here and then folded up the part that the back seat hooks onto. So we're gonna have to locate a pair of those, get this straightened out. Hopefully it won't be too disastrous getting it back down without having to replace it completely, and then find us a full rear seat to put in here. But you can tell in the spirit of Hoosier Garage Van, somebody decided a long time ago to put some orange shag in here. Quite commendable. But we have some extra parts like some cranks, a door handle for the front, because see, these are on it, right? And the cranks are all on it. We need to get that window working because it's not working right now and it's raining right now. We don't want it to rust out further, right? But if we look inside, there's some kind of cool period things here and there. And one of them's being this old radio. It does not have a name on it right off. And it's odd they put it over on this side. So they had their AM, FM, because that was just the AM. And when you go around the orange shag, I did not notice this in Ryan's video, but look what we got here. We got the little Ilco or Cal Custom dimmer switch foot deal, which I don't know how those go on. I think they might have a little set screw. But we might take that out and put it in the van because it's a little more fitting for that one, I think, by the time we get done with this. But it's a 727 automatic and got air conditioning, or air conditioning car, I should say. And we've got all kinds of critter nuts. We've got most of our parts here. Obviously some of them will need refurbished or replaced. And the floors are in good shape. They might be a little thin up here in areas, but we'll find that out at some point. Mainly when the duster gets itself under control in there. It'll be time to start digging into this one. So when that gets to a good kind of coasting point, then we'll really start digging into this one. Now this door is obviously, we've got issues over here. The door's got probably the most problems of any body panel, all the Bondo here, and it's probably got hit there, and it's a little thick here, so we got some issues. But originally the story is that this is a California car, and so there's a couple spots, but it's not as bad as it could be for a typical Midwestern car. Okay, so the hood hinges are not operating and the hood is not attached to it. But here's our engine bay. Pretty solid. Might be a little spot hiding somewhere, but can't really tell where that would be if it is. I will show you one bad spot, and it kind of relates to this area. But this is what we got to work with. What I like about this car, or one of the things, I mean obviously the color, but if you watch Roadkill Garage, Steve Dulcich had one of these, a 71. It was originally plum crazy purple like this. It was a 318 car and they had a 383 in it. And so I liked watching that episode probably 3 or 4 times because it was just like so relatable with this car. And I think he ended up selling it to Wiley Ray Stevens. So as I can understand, this is not the original hood. I think the original hood was a little bit roached, but I'm guessing it was maybe Ryan that located this one in his stash. So this is a great one to work with. I'm not gonna go Roadrunner hood. Probably not gonna go air grabber. It's gonna be just a nice basic car. So this would be a good hood to work with. If you did go to our air grabber, you can either find one of them that has a hole in it, but this is kind of the base of the hood that they did use. And they put the bulge on it, had the hole in it, and so on and so forth. But the big area on this car that's bad and something will need to be addressed, you kind of see it in here, is we have the rot going on all the way through. There's a hole mainly from about here to here, and it's a little bad through there too, just for some reason a weak area. So we'll have to cut a lot of that out, but that's when the dash and all this stuff will have to come off to make it easier to get to. We cut and paste and do it right, because right now you can see all the way down into the car. So No bueno. Now this car originally was all FC7 in violet, plum crazy, whatever you prefer to. I like to call it plum crazy, it just sounds cooler, even though that was the Dodge name. But that's the original color right there. And it did not at all have a vinyl roof. It did not have the canopy 3/4 roof. It did not have a full roof of vinyl because, one, it doesn't show. We also have lead up here, and lead filled cars were traditionally no vinyl top. But somebody put one on, and you can see that's what these clips are. And the telltale sign of this is that the trim curves down here. Now if it was original, it would, I think it comes either flush here or it cuts straight across. It doesn't curve down there or anything. And it did not have a canopy roof because then there would be signs over there. But what they did do is they used these little stud screws and put them across here and made what you would call a Landau roof, which was popular late 70s on production cars. So somebody decided they wanted to do that here, and then they did this, I guess at the same time, did this lightning bolt paint job, which is a little more prevalent on the other side of what was going on in their theory on the rendering, I guess you could say, because you could see it was going on here. Kind of a cool looking deal. It'd be kind of neat on a race car. Don't really care how they executed it back there, but this is all gonna go away. It's a cool part of its history, but this is all gonna have to get taken out, fill the holes, repair the dents up there, obviously get all this cleaned up. It's gonna be another project, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be anything like that Duster, which is a full-on, completely ripped down to the whole situation. And that'll be a nice little change. It'll be kind of getting into all the other stuff, because, you know, B bodies and E bodies, they always have many more parts, and so that'll be kind of the concentrating thing there. But as far as that windshield up there, we do have the trim. It looks like we have another one of these Ford lights. I need to put it with the other one. And if we come back here, we have the luggage rack. And from what I can tell, this was original on this car. It's one of the original Chrysler pieces. A little bit of a rough shape. I think they had like bullets that always fall off that went on here. Has none of them, but it has everything else. Debating what to do with that. It doesn't really, I don't find it too pleasing with this body style. But you got to respect it because it's original stuff. And if anything, we'll find it either a better home or it might go back on there. Not sure. But it's a 71, so you got the really cool 3-segment side markers all the way around, as opposed to this surface mount. Got a really nice set of tail lights here, which is a relief. Bumper's got a little action going on there, but a lot of that can be knocked out, or just when you get a new bumper or whatever. And of course, there's how you put your fuel in. It's gonna need a lock set, stuff like that. It does not have keys, so there's stuff like that that needs to be done. But I mean, when you get down to it, it's nuts and bolt type of deal. When you get into the underpinnings of the car, it's a drum brake car, which is pretty common on these. Even on the I know of a 4-speed 71 GTX Dana rear end car that had the same drum brakes as these, and I think it had a sway bar. This one doesn't have a sway bar, but that'll be an addition, and we'll probably go with the disc brakes as well. I know where to get a sway bar. That'll be in our usual favorite junkyard. There's a 4-door satellite there that has the front sway bar with the control arms and the tabs on it. So I'm gonna say we're gonna have to get that and reserve it for this car, so it'll have a front bar on it. It has the 8 1/4 rear. Now that's why part of the deal, I think what Jim wanted was to have the 8 3/4. It's got a 741 case, and not sure, posi, sure grip, whatever you like to call it, limited slip. Of course, Mopar called it sure grip, so We'll have to just kind of see what we got. It's a little sticky, probably something there. We'll have to go through that later, but that's kind of the last of our worries. But it's cool we got it. And then we got the 727 here, big block, and back to the parts. All right, so it's been a long weekend. I'm gonna try to get this car moved over here. Might be a little tough to do, but I got a floor jack to see what we can do. And next time that we fool with this, we're gonna clean it out a little bit more, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll get some other stuff figured out on the engine, maybe that main cap for the block. That'd be nice to get something there that would be solid, good to work. And yeah, I hope you notice on this video, on the thumbnail, I've color coded it. Now, when I did the van and a lot of the other videos, we did them in a orange and yellow, or yellow and red, or whatever it was. Just kind of, that's our brand, that's the Hoosier Garage brand. But if you notice on the Duster, there's green on the side, because that's the color of the car. That's the color that it's going to be. And so this one's purple, because this car was purple. So if you're going through Hoosier Garage videos and you're just trying to find semi-specific content, that's how you know. So with that, we're gonna go back to Dylan's building, and you can kind of see stuff in the dark. You don't have the lights on yet, and see some of the cool cars he's got, and bank on seeing more of those same cars and even more in the future. And make sure you check out Dylan's channel. So we'll put that down in a link. And again, thank you for coming to the Hoosier Garage, and until next time.
69 Camaro project there. You're talking about Charger. Here's a 68. Watch this little slick right here. I've got a roof leak around here somewhere. Watch this. There's a 68 Charger.
Oh, beautiful. That's my favorite car right there.
Really? A 68 Charger?
68 Charger.
Wow.
Okay. RT.
Yep. And it's got, let me get out of your way here. I've got a major roof leak in here. I'm going to call them guys back out here. Yeah, I know.
Oh, sweet.
2 4s.
Oh, man.
It's a 340 board, 40 thousandths over, I believe. Of course, it needs to be cleaned up, and everything needs to be acid etched again and everything. But it's the Mad Max Charger, we call it.
Wow.
And everything. So.
Are we going with the green?
No, they did that, and it just sort of stuck. I think it's kind of cool. It's like a watermelon Charger.
Yeah, it's got the red and the green.
Yep. But automatic. New suspension, the grill and stuff is new, the hideaway headlight buckets, everything's new, fuel tank's new. The interior is decent in it. If you want to open the door, you're more than welcome to do that. It's got wildwood brakes all the way around it, discs. I think the rear is still drum. It's got the Holly racing style fuel pump, triple web lines all the way from the back, new fuel tank, rear end, front suspension, lower arms, K-frame, K-member, everything under the front's new. Serpentine belt set up and everything. But, you know, it's pretty neat for what it is, you know.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't street it every day, but you can run it down the street.
Be a good weekend warrior kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a weekend warrior, exactly. So it's
sweet.
like 700 horsepower at the rear wheels, which is too much for this car.
Yeah.
You can't hold it to the road.
Right.
You know, it's definitely overkill. But let's see how much Mopar stuff I've got back there. Took a lot of the Mopar stuff home, which is, this is a 73 Dodge Power Wagon, W300 series, factory air conditioning, power steering, power brakes. This was on the Trace Atkins music video.
Okay.
You'll see it if you watch Heartbreak Song on YouTube.
Heartbreak Song.
Yep. And Trace actually drove that one. And then, let's see what else have I got back here. 72 Fury.
Oh, yeah.
Parts car. Yep. But the glass is good and everything. That's one reason why I want it. You can't buy that windshield anymore.
Oh, they don't. You can't get a repro on it?
There's a wrecked 70 Fury that I saved from getting crushed.
Okay, yeah.
It came in.
2-door, yeah.
Yep. Interior and stuff actually, and it's usable. It's got the double scooped hood on it, you know, that everybody likes.
There's a couple of this body style at that junkyard I go to. They're Monacos though.
A Dodge Monaco, yeah.
But it's the same two-door, and I tried to get the rear end of one when I jacked it up. It's in one of our videos. It like kind of demolished the back of the car, just broke apart. But it's got the burnt orange. It's 70 burnt orange interior, and I think there's a blue one and a tree fell on it.
Wow.
But they're both Monacos. But
there's a 65 Chrysler. I don't know what this is.
Is it a Newport?
Yes, you got Newport.
Newport.
I always forget that.
I was gonna say 300, but I always say 300.
Yep. This came out of Kentucky, not far from you guys, believe it or not. The interior really is not in bad shape for what it is.
That's similar to the like the Monacos or something. Polera.
It's got a 383 under the hood and it runs.
Nice.
You know, fender skirts and everything. It's a solid car. The floors are solid. I mean, there's no rust underneath this car. It's just got barely it's got surface rust. It was on Marketplace, and I picked it up from a guy. Where it's at. I think it pops from the inside.
Yeah, the expensive cars on the inside.
Yeah. Nope, it pops from the outside. I think it's right. Yep. Have to remember, it comes back to me in spells. The 383 car, factory AC, 1965. And I bet the air conditioning on this thing would work.
Probably would. It looks like it's all together.
Yep.
Nice. Not all fiddled with.
Yep, it was going to be a demolition derby car, and I beat 3 demolition derby guys to the site, and I got there, loaded it up. One of them showed up, was madder than hell, but who cares, you know? He was mad. He drove like 3 hours to get it. I drove an hour and a half to get it, you know? And, but I was leaving as he was coming in, and he was cussing and everything, son of a, you know, and just mad.
Early
and I
bird.
was just like waving, see ya. Because these are just like the Imperials. I mean, they just demolish everything on the derby field.
Oh yeah, they like band them in some areas.
That's real steel there,
Yeah.
you know?
Heavy wheel wells and all that.
Oh,
good
yeah.
stuff. That's cool.
But it was too straight and solid to derby.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? That there's a 69 Cadillac DeVille 2-door.
Oh yeah.
There.
Kind of like Boss Hogg's car with the hard top on
You
it.
got it. I saved this one from getting scrapped too. It was going to be a derby car. It came from the other side, South Nashville is where it came from.
Okay.
And it runs and drives. It wasn't running at the time, but it'll run and drive, believe it or not. Air the tires up, put a battery in it, some gas, and you can drive it out of here.
That's neat.
It's a 64 and a half, pretty rare
Oh, Mustang.
Mustang fastback for the Mustang people. You know, went and got this one on Christmas Eve night 2 years ago, and beat like 10 other buyers on this one.
Really?
The guy had this thing on Marketplace. His daughter, he said that he lived up in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and he had this thing on the internet for like 2 hours. He went to Kentucky Downs, the casino up there, and he said his phone never stopped ringing the whole time he was there.
Don't need to go to casino, just sell the car.
I know. He was like, man, what's going on? And he told his daughter finally, he said, take that damn thing off of there. And we showed up and ended up buying it. And then this is a pretty rare one here. I don't know
Oh, Fury, yeah.
If you are about big cars.
They're neat to see because you don't see enough of them, really. You know, they're different.
I went all the way to.
Yeah, I like that car.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think where it was. It was Orlando. I went all the way to Orlando, Florida. This is a '73 Fury, factory big block, automatic, 4-door hardtop, which is really rare and unusual in these. I never knew they made. You know, it's like the Dukes of Hazzard. This was like their first cop cars in the early episodes. But the interior in this thing is like new, besides some of the mold and mildew from the moisture. But I mean, interior-wise and everything, they were going to derby this car too. And the guy didn't have the heart to do it. And he's like, you're a Mopar guy, right? And I said, yes, sir. And he's like, come down here, just pay me for this car and get it out of here. He said, it's in too good a shape. I don't have the heart to derby
It's got the headliner that's all intact.
Yep.
Wow. Usually they're falling apart.
And this is the furthest I've ever drove to get a car. It was like 9.5 hours to go get this thing. And we spent the weekend. And I've never been that far to pick one up. Wow. But, you know, and it's from New York, the craziest thing.
Oh, really?
This thing was on, it's still got the registration in the glove box, where this thing was from Staten Island, New York. And
it kind of reminds me of Kyle's got a car there at his farm. It's a 2-door 71 Fury. Have you seen that car?
Yep.
It's got a similar color, and it's got like the paisley matching interior. And it, like if that was a nice like fix up, that'd be an awesome looking car.
Yeah.
Real clean body lines on it.
Yep.
It's gonna have the safety inspection from 2019 on it.
Yeah.
2019.
It didn't sit in Florida very long.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd
it sat
say.
in Florida probably a year.
Yeah, you would expect to see maybe 2001 or something on it.
Right. Right.
That's cool.
And they've got, I like the back ends on these things too. And I usually put like a 265/50 tire on the back with a police interceptor wheel. And the back end of this car will sit up like here.
Oh, kind of like the Thunderbolt and Lightfoot.
Exactly.
With the rabbits in it.
Shooting with a shotgun.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Levi, you need to check out that movie.
Yeah, oh my God.
Pulls over the side of the road and rabbits jump out.
It's got Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges in it.
Yeah.
And they're just
Crazy.
They got picked up by that guy and they roll a car over it and it's nuts. He ends up pulling it out, shooting at rabbits. That's crazy, man. But there's some Mopar stuff over there. There's
a Pinto.
Yep, sure is. You're a Pinto man?
No, I just recognize him. Is this an Indy pace car?
It is. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
wow. There we go. That'd be Hoosier garage material right there.
Yep.
82.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Indianapolis
66, 1982. Yep. I recognize that blue
Yes,
kind of
sir.
rainbow stripe around it.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's a neat one.
Does it?
On this side?
Yeah, that one looks.
Oh, yeah, it's all
the door and
intact.
everything,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. That's cool.
I actually forgot this was in here. So much stuff in here, you know. So much stuff in here, you know. We'll go away for like a couple of weeks and you come back in. Where'd this come from?
We got this one last summer, right?
Yeah,
Where I
right up
work.
that
Yeah.
street. Yeah.
That's the first year of that body style.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. 81 was the round body.
Yep, I had an 81 and it
Did
was last year, and then it went to this one.
Pull apart, which pull apart. Once pull apart against the vehicle, they never let it go.
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna leave that one.
That one got out of there, believe it or not.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a running, driving car with like 70,000 original miles on it. I have the hood for it. Of course, I got it because they make cool cop cars.
Yes.
And if I find another one that's rough sometime, I'll put that one back together. You know, just pull the VIN and the tags and stuff,
Yeah.
and you know,
Move
we
it
get a
around.
title for it and all that.
Have a
crap.
car you can enjoy. Yeah.
Yep. There's another 70 Charger right there. Project.
Yep.
It's got all new sheet steel, trunk, floor pins, everything in the box stuffed in the car. Of course, you know, a 70 Charger Project right now, they want 15, 20 grand for a
Yeah,
car.
I was telling my wife, I said, I think the Chargers 68 through 70, the hottest muscle car period right now.
Yeah.
You cannot touch those cars.
They're just, and you know, it's crazy because I started collecting these. I got 8 of these,
Mm-hmm.
and I started collecting these when I was like 19, 20,
Mm-hmm.
and back then they were still really expensive. To me, they were like $4,000 or $5,000 a piece.
Yeah.
You know,
Like they've always been expensive, but they like are always just out of your reach almost.
Right.
And then you just, if you put it in there and you get it. You
I
know?
just happened to luck up and get a few of them. Like,
Yeah.
and now I could, if I wanted to start over, I could never get them.
No.
They're too much.
Yeah. It's like if I start getting it, like, I'm going to buy a Charger. Well, like, good luck.
Yeah, I mean they're 20 grand for a shell. You know, so. And this is a really good one to start with.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's like, you've been seeing some really roached ones for like 15,000.
Yeah.
Roached.
Exactly.
Like, to the ground.
Yeah, where like they're okay. It's like $15,000. This is all that's left.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always the roof.
It's like, what?
Always the roof.
This is all rusted out. It's like, okay, there went my thumb through the whole car. That'll be $15,000.
Like I've never spent so much for rust.
So,
That's neat.
but anyway, there's a '67 Chrysler Newport back there too, 383 car. Believe it or not, I picked that car up. The guy was going to scrap it. He was going to use it for parts car to build his other car. He ended up not doing anything with it besides pulling the carburetor on it. I think I gave him $200 for that car just to save it from getting scrapped. The only bad thing about that car, the whole back end from the back seat back is rusted out. What I was going to do though, I've got a '76 short wheelbase 4-wheel drive Dodge truck frame, and the wheelbase measures up perfect. I was going to drop that car down on that, make it 4-wheel drive.
4-wheel drive.
Tub my own, and
That'd
it's a
be-
440 power wagon too, automatic. So that 3.3 would bolt right up to the transmission, make a 4-wheel drive, put like 33-inch tires, and then put a trailer hitch under it and go get cars with that car.
That would be good. And put your logo on it and everything. That would be neat.
Huh? Yeah. I just saved it. Well, they're starting
I know.
A little Scottsdale truck over there. And
That is the one that ran into our meter.
Yes, it runs.
can use this video here.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got here a 348 tri-power.
Yeah, 1958 348 tri-power with the correct triple Rochester carburetors, correct intake manifold, exhaust manifolds, the works. Everything on this motor is consecutive to this engine, and it is the first year 348. And I believe it came out of a 58 Chevy Impala convertible. It's a shame we don't have the whole car.
Yeah.
But we do have the.
You have everything here on this,
we
wires
have
and all.
Have the engine, everything, and
Wow.
it should run. It's not stuck. If I can get past this stuff. Yep, it's loose.
Yeah, so it does move.
It will run.
That's awesome.
Yep. And somebody put a build kit in it a while back, but you know, probably 20 years ago. But the guy told me it's a stock bore, so it's still a virgin bore 348. So if you wanted to board over or modify it, you got the option to do.
You got
so.
a standard engine to work with.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, sure.
That's awesome.
Yep. So it could be got. Somebody out there needs it. Somebody out there is hunting one hard.
Yeah, they're
I'm sure.
wanting to run across that.
Packed my bags in Louisiana. I'm sitting